This Bentley is faster than a Lamborghini. With a top speed of 208, that's 6 miles an hour faster than a Huracan Evo. And with 771 horsepower, that's 1 horsepower more than an SVJ. Ever wonder what the Charger looks like on a $400,000 Bentley? To open the trunk, go ahead and click the B button here. That'll open the rather spacious trunk. We open this compartment up right here and check it out. How fancy is this Bentley Charger? This car is actually a hybrid. So on the driver's side, we've got the charging port, and then on the passenger side, you can fill it up with gas. Even the fuel filler cap looks expensive. The attention to detail in this car is unbelievable. I mean, just look at the key, for instance. Imagine pulling this out at the dinner table. And to make sure your key doesn't get damaged, we even have an interior color-matched key cover. That is wild. Now, as I mentioned, the Bentley is outrageously powerful. Under the hood is a 4-liter twin-turbocharged V8 with an electric motor, making 771 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. And thanks to its 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, that means 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. 3, 2, 1. Design-wise, the new Continental GT is absolutely stunning. Don't you think? What's wild is this is actually the first time since the 1950s that the car has only 2 headlights instead of 4. Look at the detail in the headlights. They're like ornate crystals, all those little Y LED elements. I mean, that is unreal. We've also got new twin chamber air springs to make the ride more comfortable than ever before, but also more capable in the corners than ever. And because all the batteries are positioned low down and near the trunk of the car, for the first time ever in a GT, we've got a near 50-50 weight distribution. And as if the headlights weren't cool enough, look at these taillights. My gosh. The inside of this Bentley is absolutely mesmerizing. The purple accents, the contrasted stitching, the white piping, the 3-dimensional design on the door cards, all of the carbon fiber. This is an overwhelming level of luxury in the best way possible. The new Continental GT has one of the best interiors I've ever experienced in my entire life. I mean, how stunning is this dash layout? It's so classy and timeless, but it's actually packed with some pretty cool technology. One of my favorite parts about this car is this rotating display. So we've got brilliant graphics on the infotainment, but if you don't want to see that anymore, you click the screen, and then all of a sudden it rotates to a beautiful analog gauge layout. And if you click and hold the screen button, it rotates yet again to a seamless piece of carbon fiber. So it's like there's no technology there whatsoever. Now, speaking of tech, these seats are a work of art. If we come down to the side here and click this button, it will activate a series of different massage functions. Look at that. Would you like wave, or pulse, or stretch? But this next seat function is even crazier to me. The seats themselves will actually measure the temperature and humidity of the seat backs and automatically adjust the climate, as well as activate the cooled or heated seats based on if it detects the fact that your back is overheating or too cold. The first time I climbed into this car, it automatically activated the cooled seats, and it was the perfect thing to do. I wasn't quite sure why it activated, but it actually predicts what you want and then just changes the climate in the seats for you. Now, this might sound silly to some, but this could possibly be my favorite part about the car. Because it's a hybrid, when you turn it on, it starts up in full electric mode. So it's completely silent. But listen to the sound when you put it into sport mode. This is one of the most pleasing automotive sounds in the world. Listen to this. All right, it's definitely time to drive the car now, but I'm impressed. I actually have headroom in the back of this sleek 2-door coupe, and the seats are super comfortable back here. And look at that, my knees aren't hitting the seat backs. Now, to turn the vehicle on, you go ahead and put your foot on the brake, click that start-stop button. Now, it says EV ready to drive. I actually really like that it lets you know that it is ready to drive. Sometimes in a hybrid or an electric car, you don't actually know if it's on or not. But what's really cool is if you switch it over to sport mode, it fires on the twin turbocharged V8 and it makes such an insane noise. Listen to this. And that V8 has fired on. We've got an 8-speed dual clutch transmission to put it into drive, pull this backwards. We've got paddles mounted on the steering wheel that are very, very responsive. I love how the steering wheel feels in your hand, combination of Alcantara, leather, and beautiful stitch work. The screen is really cool as well. I love these displays for the hybrid powertrain system. Nice Speed logo right there. Traction control settings, more of your climate controls here. I love that we've got an analog clock, pushers to basically close and open the vents for the climate control. Now we have a multitude of different view options to choose from for the digital instrument cluster. If we click this view button, there's another view here. Basically, you can put it into a navigation mode where the navigation is in the center. So you've got a huge display for the nav. It says multimedia system is off, so we'll go ahead and switch that on. Now we've got the navigation, which is pretty cool in the center of the display, and then we can go ahead and change it back to a more normal display. So how wild is this? We're driving the GT in all electric mode. It's got 50 miles of range and can go up to 99 miles an hour. It's got 188 horsepower from just the electric motor, so you can actually accelerate past cars without having to kick on that internal combustion engine. But my favorite part about the hybrid powertrain isn't the fact that you can drive in all electric mode, it's the instant response. So let's go ahead and put it over into sport mode. Because not only is the twin turbo V8 responsive, with that electric power, it takes off almost like a hypercar. I mean, there is no lag whatsoever, particularly if you put the car into manual mode by pulling one of the paddles. It surges forward so effortlessly and with so much thrust. 738 pound-feet is no joke. This thing absolutely moves. And that exhaust is really impressive as well. Don't think of hybrid as anything but a positive. It's got more power, better acceleration, and the exhaust sounds better than before too. The burbles, oh, the backfires are absolutely insane. And because of the electric power, the launch control ability in this car is insane. So you just click the traction button, floor the brake, floor the gas, and it takes off like a rocket ship. 5,000 RPM launch. I mean, that is nuts. Now, because we have the dual chamber air springs with the twin valve dampers, the bandwidth of performance that this car has is unbelievably impressive. So not only is it super comfortable, if we put it into comfort mode, I mean, it just wafts along. You could drive this for thousands of miles across all of Europe, across the entire United States, no problem at all. But then when you put it into sport mode, the dampers and the springs stiffen, and then it has limited body roll, and you can actually have a whole bunch of fun in the canyons. And not only is the suspension brilliant, because you've got that hybrid powertrain, the responsiveness is so intense that you can drive this in twisty roads. I mean, you've got so much immediate response, you really don't notice the weight of this car because of the suspension and because of the driving dynamics. Wow. Send it through this corner. I mean, it's got so much confidence in the corners. No body roll. Yeah, that is unbelievable. Wow. I mean, it pulls like a freight train. It's got this incredible duality to it where it accelerates like a supercar, but it rides like the most comfortable luxury car ever. But when you're in a sporty environment, I mean, you could actually have fun taking this on a racetrack, which is not something you can ever say about a luxury vehicle other than maybe this one. It really is baffling how good this is. So the Bentley also has a host of other technology features to make this car handle even better. It's got an electronically controlled limited slip differential that enables torque vectoring. So basically it slows the inside wheel down, speeds the outside wheel up to rotate the car around the corner. It also has rear axle steering, which at high speeds turns the rear wheels in the same direction as the fronts to enhance the wheelbase and enhance stability, and then at low speeds it turns the rear wheels in the opposite direction of the fronts to virtually shorten the wheelbase and improve maneuverability in tight, twisty roads at low speeds and also in parking lots. Oh, I'm in love with this car. The sound, the torque, the instantaneous response, the comfort levels, the quality of the interior, the design language of the exterior. I mean, it's just staggering. This would be the ultimate everyday car. And you could do everything with it. Everything. You can even fit people in the back. Now, you've got a slightly smaller trunk because of the electric components, but it's got plenty of space for me. And it's got an impressive amount of room in here. I just feel like I'm in this open, airy cabin, yet surrounded by luxury at the same time. Man, if you put this on some Cup 2 tires, the grip it would have would be insane. I would actually love to put this on really sticky tires and take it around the track. I think it would be an absolute riot. And it'd be able to handle it as well. I mean, listen to the exhaust. Let's place it back into comfort mode and just cruise along in the Continental GT. The isolation from the outside world is absolutely incredible. Slow down for this deer to cross. No, the deer is scared of the Bentley. Wow, don't get a lot of deer out here. But you've got safety assistance features in case something like that does jump out in front of the road and there is enough time to stop. The Bentley would apply the brake. You're just in your own world here. We've got the name speaker system that sounds absolutely insane. It gets loud enough to deafen even a person with the most hardcore ears. And the sound quality is absolutely incredible. The seats themselves are super, super comfortable, and they're actually supportive enough when you're going around turns. It keeps you in place more than you'd expect for seats that don't have super intense bolsters. Or at least, they do actually have kind of big bolsters, but they don't feel like bucket seats in the negative sense. Just the most comfortable car ever. It's such a pleasure, and it's nice having a car that you know is perfect for any environment. If all of a sudden you want to pick up the pace and you reach a really cool twisty road, you know you can. You know you have that 771 horsepower. And if you're tired, you're exhausted after a day's work, you don't have to use any of that. You can be in hybrid mode, you can just waft along on the freeway, whether you're going slow or you're out on the Autobahn going 200 miles an hour, commuting briskly back from work. I mean, the fact that this can go 208 miles an hour is absolutely insane. And I wish there was a place in the United States where I could experience that in this car. Maybe a Autobahn run in the Continental GT in the future if I ever make it back out to Germany and am behind the wheel of one of these. But then at the same time, it also is just such a pleasure to look at visually. The quality of the materials is insane, but the choice of the materials is really impressive. I mean, the combination of leather, Alcantara, carbon fiber, metal, these soft touch materials, everything just flows so nicely. And it is quite similar in the interior layout as the previous generation, third gen. There aren't a ton of changes, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it just looks really nice the way that it is. And I like the subtle updates to the design language on the inside and out. This has got to be probably my favorite mode. If you're just driving along and you don't want to have all of those digital displays, it just feels so classy. And then at nighttime, you've got a multitude of ambient light colors to choose from, so you can really spruce up. As if the interior needs any more sprucing up in this car, you can make it even more elevated. I wish I could film more videos at nighttime. The GoPro quality just isn't all that great when it gets dark, but the ambient lighting is very impressive. You'll just have to take my word for it. Man, I love this thing. The brakes are also very good as well. I mean, we've got carbon ceramic brakes, but it slows itself down so well for a heavy vehicle. And I think because of that dual chamber suspension, as well as the electronic limited slip rear differential, the hybrid powertrain, and the rear wheel steering, I mean, it just is so dynamic for a car of this comfort level and size. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like always, please browse the channel and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time.